It is currently pouring outside and it is crazy weather right now. It's just been raining off and on again, and right now it's just like a storm out there. But yeah, just bear with me if you guys hear rain sounds in the background. There's always a lot of background noise around here, so that's just how these videos go. There's always something going on around here. And I really enjoyed the rain. A lot of people don't enjoy the rain, but I love the rain. I love the very loud sounds of like thunder, lightning, and just like rain just pouring really hard. It makes me very calm and it soothes me. And yeah, it's just a really lovely time when it rains outside. Anyways, today I'm going to be working with watercolor and ink, and I'm going to be doing a comic book page, like a graphic novel page type thing. I don't know. Basically, I'm just going to be using inks and watercolors, creating images, and telling a little story through those images. So that's what we're doing here. I'm currently in the works of creating a children's illustration book. I got the book dummy. That's complete. But the next step is to actually finally illustrate it. So I'm going to be working on that this whole month. And a few other things for like Puff and Fluff. For this particular artwork that I'm working on right now, I am trying to find a style for like creating a graphic novel / food illustrated book of all my mom's and grandma's recipes, and just recipes that just have stories and memories that revolve around food. I have a lot of memories that revolve around the holidays and food and just being with my family. So that's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm going to be creating. So in these panels, I'm basically illustrating the process of making tamales and everything that revolves around, creating that dish. And for those of you guys that don't know, making tamales is like a really physical, intensive labor type of dish. It takes hours and hours. Sometimes it takes a whole day. Sometimes it just takes half a day, depending on how much you're making. And the quantity that you're making is not like a little tiny pot. It's like you're making a giant pot of like tamales. So it's something that you do with like the family, and you're all working together to make these tamales because, it's such a huge quantity. So that's what we're doing here. That's what I'm illustrating. My grandma, in the first panel, she is like boiling the chicken. So she's making a broth out of it because she's got to kill that chicken early in the morning and degut it and everything, pluck out the feathers. And then over here, my mom in this panel, she is toasting the chilies. And that's something that takes a really long time. And you got to be really careful not to burn these chilies. Otherwise, the mole does not taste right. And my mom is well known for her mole. So here she is making the mole, toasting the chilies, and then she puts them in the blender and, makes the mole along with like putting a little bit of broth, and she's cooking it up in this cazuela. So this giant ceramic pot. And that's what she's doing. And then comes the masa. So the masa is basically the dough that is made out of corn. And this is fresh ground corn. This is not like from a bag, store-bought. Anyways, all the ingredients here that my grandma and my mom used, they were all completely like 100% organic. And that is probably the best thing about these tamales that I had from Mexico, is that everything was fresh. My favorite part about this day, other than the tamales, was that I was with my grandma, my great grandma, and my mom. And it was 4 generations of women cooking together in the kitchen, and that was probably the best gift that I could have ever been given in this life, is to be able to get to know my great grandma, because this was my first time meeting her in person. I've only ever talked to her on the phone and FaceTimed her, but listening to her stories and listening to her life experiences and the things she's gone through, I learned a lot from her. Overall, it was just a really great bonding experience while we were making tamales. And I found out that my great grandma has very similar or the same humor as my mom and my grandma and I do. So we like roasting each other and like busting each other's balls. So that was great. And yeah. So here is my mom and my grandma, having a laugh, and my mom spreading the masa on the husk for the tamales. And obviously I'm not in the picture. I really wanted to leave myself out of this whole scene and not include myself in it. For the majority of my artwork, I will do a first person point of view, so that's how I am illustrating this whole thing. And for today's topic of the day, art is personal. I can only talk about my experience with art and my point of view about art and where it stems from, because my point of view is really different from the Western point of view of the arts, where like fine arts and craft is separated. For me, the way I view art, if it's craft, if it's fine arts, it's all jumbled into one. People from different walks of life have very different points of views about art and what is meaningful to them and what they think art is. Other countries, other cultures, they have different rules. They have different thoughts and ideas about the arts and what they believe art is. I'm someone who definitely believes that art is a form of expression, and it is a universal language, and it comes in different forms. It comes in different ideas. It can be something that is beautiful. It can be something that is visually pleasing. It can be something that is a little bit ugly and not visually pleasing. It can come in the form of pottery, a drawing, a painting. It can come in so many different shapes and sizes. It can be something that is tactile and something that is not tactile. It can be something that is useful, like a spoon or a cloth that is meant to hold some tortillas in. It has to be personal. Not personal in the form where it's like it has to have a personal message or a personal story to it. More so where it has to be made with intention, love, and care towards creating that thing, that piece of artwork. And that's where I draw the line, basically. If it doesn't have any love, it doesn't have any care, if it's not personal, then I kind of don't think it's art. But yeah, that's just my view of the arts. In my work, I try to get really personal with everything that I create and put out there into the world. That does not include my sketches, because those are kind of just me practicing and stuff. But I'm talking about like actual artwork that means something, things that are outside of my sketchbook most of the time are the things that are going to be representative of that idea. And for me, making personal artwork means that I get to reach the audience, and hopefully they can relate to my art because it is so personal of a human experience. The message behind my artwork and the meaning behind it comes from my experiences, my family's experiences, our story, my lifestyle, and my family's lifestyle, our culture. And that's sort of what I limit myself towards, because if I try to go outside of that, and when artists, I find, do go outside of that, they visually represent things and they misinform audiences. And you can see that a lot in movies and TV shows. And that is why I'm only going to create art that is personal and that comes from within me with a lot of love and care. And there are experiences and emotions that are universal. So when I can capture that in my artwork, that is great, because that means that everybody can relate to that one thing. What I want to hear from you guys is what your guys' definition of art is and how that translates and forms your guys' creativity and your guys' artwork. By the way, I want to give a shout out to my sister and my mother, because they are really good cooks and they can actually cook. And I'm so happy that I can eat delicious food whenever they make food. And hopefully they enjoy my food too. My mom is somebody who shows a lot of love and care through her food. And that's kind of how she shows us love. And same thing with my sister. Same thing with me. That's how I'm going to show I'm going to care about you. I'm going to create you a nice, delicious dish for you to eat. We are finally at the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, you can subscribe for more videos that are coming soon. And if you want to see more of me and my artwork, you guys can check out the link below for my social media handles. And I will see you when I see you.